Welcome to Cynthia Untamed, your youthful and educational platform. Over Easter, my colleague and I decided to take a trip to Lesotho, and we went by bus. Very, very long trip. So on our way to Lesotho, we had to spend the night close to the border in a beautiful town called Ladybrand.
I checked standards also.
The last time I slept in a guest house, I had a very interesting time. It even has a fireplace.
Okay, so we're out of power. So
we can't even shower. We'll have to go and eat first. Actually, I downloaded the ESCOM thing to check. Ooh, this shower looks weird.
to get here is 1 kilometer. And we were charged how much? 100. They were like 150 rands.
150 rands, and we're like, we're negotiating. We're not paying 150 rands.
We are paying 50, but we made it. It's so pretty.
Yes.
Sitting place. Proof of life. We need to bath. We're tired.
Finally here in Ladybrand, I am exhausted. We've been on the road for 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours. I've lost track of time. But finally we're here. This room is vintage. Like, I have this vintage kind of a feeling. Sorry about the darkness. There is power shortage in South Africa, so
load shedding. She means load shedding. He's not know how to describe it.
So we're waiting for the lights to come back. But meanwhile, we'll shower and then just enjoy life.
We're about to go have lunch.
What are you having for lunch?
I'm having curry lamb, a hot one, with pub and spinach. Literal. They said it's so hot. So it's a challenge if I can survive it.
I'm having the same thing, but I'm having chicken though. I am not experimenting at all.
No, she's sharing it with me. We agreed that we are backpackers living on a budget, so we just spend more than 300 rands on lunch.
What? Oh, but this place is beautiful. After lunch, we decided to walk around and just see how Ladybrand as a town feels like, what's the vibe, how are the people like. We went into a few compounds, including a church. The compound was so beautiful. This was an Anglican church just within the CBD. And then we went further into town, and then we walked into a couple of shops. We visited more churches. Interestingly, Ladybrand has a lot of churches actually. And they also have lots of nice clothes to buy, but we were not here to shop. We were just here to explore. Later on, we went back to our house, hoping that the power was back by now and we could have some hot water to bath. But I wanted you to first see the compound of the place where we were staying. Later on in the evening, we went to a restaurant called Cranberry to have some dinner. The meal was delicious and the place was cute. I am totally in love with cute, bright, and flowery places. At 7 in the morning the next day, we had to prepare to cross the border to Lesotho. And we had some breakfast first. And I just realized I didn't show you the kitchen. So this is how it looks, the kitchen and the dining area. We took a taxi to cross the border. It costed us 25 rands each, which was much more affordable than if we had a private car. Once we arrived in Lesotho, we decided to walk around a little bit before we went over to our first stop. This is Maseru, the capital city of Lesotho. One thing that was interesting to find out is that Maseru is actually a very large district, so you could travel for almost 3 hours and you're still in Maseru district. Our first stop was Mount Kilone, which inspires the traditional Basotho hat, which is called the Mokorotlo hat. We just went to see it. It's actually considered a symbol of national unity and peace in Lesotho. Hello, welcome to Lesotho. We are finally in Lesotho. This is Thaba-Bosiu village. It's a cultural village where you get to learn about the people of Lesotho, the culture of Lesotho, and it's very quiet here. I've been telling my friend that the air here is so calm and fresh. She's over there. She's having chocolate. Look at her.
Hi. I get hungry a lot. I'm having chocolate.
Yeah, but so far so good. Generally, the country is quite hilly. If you can look at the background up there, you can see that there's a lot of hills everywhere. So we're just here to learn about the culture of the people. I am really that cultural person. I think I'll even pick up a hat or something to go back home with.
March 1870. He was about 84 years when he passed away. So when the Basotho built their villages, they built it in this wall. We call it Motero. So Motero wona he. This is it's a defending wall. So if the enemies come, they can fight inside, but not to drive out the cattle. They built this wall as high as they couldn't jump this. To build this, and to build this, it's a matter of 2 to 3 days. Now you have your own house or your home. But the lifespan can be about 50 years upwards.
Wow.
So always the first house.
They had to pour the what do you call that thing? That grass which that's the house.
This is the fishing class.
But the door is so tiny. Imagine bending here all the time. Just pray that you're not at
Or maybe you go with you.
Oh, that is the storage to keep food.
Oh, so this is a mini village.
No. It's a family house
Family house
for one woman.
Moses.
Hey.
Oh, that guy is from. You choose which village you want to go.
You're asking them, this is our questions.
You can drink anything which is liquid with this. Can be water, milk, beer, and others. But when you want to cut it here, you make a blade behind at the bottom. Then you want to make a bowel, you cut it here. Then you want to make a beer mug, you cut up here. Then you take off the tail. This is how we do. Then this is the milking pot. We use this for milking. Then it's a horn.
What
Then
animals on?
a cow. Then we fill the bigger pot.
Keep busy.
Glass or wine storage thing.
Wine glass.
Or clocks.
But it was different one. Like the culture one.
all that wine.
Yeah.
I'd come for the wine.
School. Okay.
When the child, when the kid dies, we roll the stone and bring it here to represent that chief.
So it's a stool, not a school.
A school. They, this is where the man stays, as I said. They just go home and want to wash feet.
So they stay here all
Day and night.
day and night. Ah.
Really like this.
Koi and San. Koi San.
Even fit through there.
Yeah, how do they fit in
They
there?
have to crawl when they get it.
They crawl? Wildcat clan. Why would you want to be a wildcat? You're born into it.
On the way coming down here.
From Thaba-Bosiu Cultural Village, we traveled about 2 hours heading towards Semonkong because that was our next visit. But we would have to go there the next day as it was a bit far and the activities of the day would take a bit long. So we decided to sleep halfway in a little town called Motlong. This place had no electricity, so it was really nice to just be disconnected from the world, no Wi-Fi, no electricity, and just to recharge. We went further into the little town to see how it looks like. There was a small hotel just close by, and the views were beautiful. This is the next morning after we spent the night at Maluti Lodge. We were now heading to Semonkong, which is an area where we could access horse riding activities. I was really nervous about this trip, majorly because the road kept winding and winding up and down the mountains. I did not like this, but the scenery was beautiful. Lesotho is really beautiful because it still has a lot of its natural resources. The grass and the trees are still there, and the life is very simple. People just build their huts in the mountains, so there isn't so much urbanization when you get out of Maseru city.
Are you sure you can take this one?
Untamed people, we made it to what's the name of this waterfall? Maluti Falls. Just there in the background. And Sandra is
we did the horse riding. So I was being late.
yes.
I love the
I was being led because I'm too scared. There are horses at the back and our guides. It is so beautiful out here. Guys, you should come to Lesotho because Lesotho is just such a beautiful country. After the horse ride, we went for a blanket presentation. When you go to Lesotho, you'll realize that most people wear blankets. That's their cultural outfit. So we went to learn more about the blankets. Lesotho blankets are given as gifts during special occasions such as weddings. Each of the blankets has a very unique pattern, mostly representing the culture and history of the country. For example, some represent the Commonwealth, some represent issues related to colonialism, and some represent the national crop, which is the corn. The next day was our last full day in Lesotho, so we decided to take a road trip to another district just to see more of the country.
Our third day. I think I've lost track of the days at Lesotho Sechala Nanye National Park. The weather is perfect, the mountains are beautiful, it's rainy, but I look amazing, don't I? Oh, I think I didn't get that. Wait.
Up there is the Maluti Mountains. It's actually very, very high. If you see it in person, you'll think it's just here, but it's actually very high. And I was being told that during winter, it actually snows, which is actually a very interesting fun fact, because I really thought the only places in Africa that have snow is Mount Kenya and Mount Kilimanjaro. So if you thought the same thing, you need to change your mind. So we're being told that you're able to hike up. That's one of the activities you can do here. And you can also, well, you can hike on your own, or they also have horses that you can rent to hike up the mountain. But it's not for the faint-hearted, because they're saying that it takes an average of 6 to 10 hours to go up. But at least when you get there, the scenery is so beautiful. So if you are a hiker, this is one place you could come and visit and see. Then someone was also telling me that because entrance fees to parks are usually very expensive, hiking is actually one way of traveling on a budget, because you can just go to a park or a mountain near a park and then hike up and also get the experience, but at a cheaper cost. But of course, you really need to be physically fit. So we just decided to come here, have a picnic. Yeah, you can just come with your snacks, you can come with your meat and have some roasted meat here. But we don't have roasted meat because, yeah, we just don't have roasted meat, but that's something you can do. Yeah, so the main activity here is hiking up and down the mountain. There are a couple of things to see. The major ones are some caves. They have some caves, and they also have a waterfall. Yeah, that's what they have. But yes, Maluti Mountains. And did you know that the Lesotho currency is also called Maluti? So that's where the name comes from, those ranges. Did you also know that Lesotho is the only country in the world that is entirely above sea level? Did you know that? Yes. Now you know. We spent our last night in Maseru city at this hotel called Greater Heights. One thing I loved about this place was the warm blankets, because I'm still struggling to adjust to Southern African weather, and they were very warm. And this is the dining area. Before we left for the border, we stopped by Makorotlo Hut. This is where you can get souvenirs. So if you need any souvenirs from Lesotho, you can get them here. You can also buy them from the street, but this one I think was the one shop that had most of the things. By the way, in Lesotho, you can use either South African Rand or Lesotho Maluti, but in South Africa, you cannot use Lesotho Maluti. So that was interesting to find out. I didn't know that there are countries that use mixed currencies. Once we crossed the border, we stopped by Bloemfontein, which is about 3 hours drive from the border, Lesotho and South African border, that is past Ladybrand. We just wanted to see the judicial capital of South Africa, so we just walked around for about an hour, and then later on we had lunch and watched a movie before we embarked on our trip back to Cape Town, which was going to take us about 13 hours, so that would be an overnight trip.